Hey cuties, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I want to welcome you to Q Naturally Lovely Q, where everything we do here is all about nails. So today, you guys, this beautiful cutie right here asked if I can encapsulate some fall leaves, and that's what we're gonna do today. So let's head on over to the cutie zone so I can show y'all exactly how I do that.
So at this point, I already prepped the nails, applied my tip, dehydrated it, and applied my base coat and cured that for 60 seconds. And now I'm gonna go in with each particular custom colored gel that I wanted to use. I'm gonna use the burgundy and I'm gonna use the gold. These are custom gels that I mixed in a previous video that most of you guys saw. So what I do is I just add a thin layer, a slip layer pretty much, and then I go in with a bigger bead and start working the cuticle area all the way down to the free edge. Because, you know, again, I'm still learning and still practicing with this, I decided this time to try a small bead at the cuticle, make sure that was there so that way I can get that flushness that I'm looking for, and then take my bigger bead, add it to the apex area, and then work from there. So you guys will see me pick up multiple beads of this gel mixture so that way I can apply it to the nail. One thing I want you guys to keep in mind, and a couple people have asked me so far, when you mix your own custom gels and these containers sit, the powders tend to settle to the bottom of the container, so just be sure to kind of give that a nice little mix before you use it again. I always make sure I do that before I start recording so I don't have any long pauses in there. But basically that's what I'm gonna do with this burgundy color to the pinky finger, and then I am going to add a nice little marble effect here to the pointer finger, and then the middle and the ring finger is where my fall leaf work is gonna come into play. So you want to be sure to kind of like clean up the side walls of when you lay your gel, so that way it's not overrunning it, just to try to kind of keep your shape. But everything that I'm doing here is going to be a thin layer, so that way I am not flooding the cuticles and I'm not using too much of my colored products, because when I get ready to encapsulate, that is where I like to build that strength, build the apex, and make sure I protect these beautiful colors with that clear IBD builder gel. All right. Now, every time y'all see me lifting that nail up is so that way I can make sure that I didn't have any ridges or bumps. Remember when I first started doing this, some of y'all already know I was talking about these ridges and these bumps that I was having of inconsistent flow of the product. I was trying to make sure I had none of that, girl. So moving on to this finger here, the thing I like about these color gels that I made is that whenever you add something to it, it changes the consistency of the IBD gel. So with the powders, I noticed that it made it, some of them made it a little bit thicker, but not so thick that it's almost like a poly gel, that I was able to place these colors on this nail and they weren't running all over the place. And now mind you, I only put like a little bit of it on there, but what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna randomly place all three of the colors that I'm going to use in this set today, and I am going to take one of my dotting tools that I bought. I probably didn't show y'all that in a nail mail video, but I'm gonna do a video on some of the stuff that I got that I didn't show you guys. Well, it's probably not gonna be some of the stuff, it's probably just gonna be one thing, because I'm super excited to try something out and show you guys. But I'm gonna take that dotting tool and I'm gonna swirl it around into these wet colors and then cure that. So y'all are not seeing this, I am curing each nail in between. So that burgundy nail was cured right after But for the sake of not making this like a super long, drawn out, boring video, I'm just taking out all of the curing parts, well, most of the curing parts, so that way you guys can see exactly what I'm doing, see my technique if you're starting to get into using gels and stuff like that. So I'm going to take this dotting tool, I'm going to swirl that thing around, and then I'm going to cure it, and then we're going to move on to the middle and the ring finger. So y'all know the infamous thought you was recording and wasn't recording. That happened to me twice during this set. Like, I was so annoyed. But basically, the same way you guys saw me laying that slip layer on that burgundy nail and then basically building up the color depth is what I did here for each part of this color blocking. Now, I don't know what was wrong with me. I guess I was just in the swing of things, listening to Cardi B, and your girl just covered up all of this. Like, I was only supposed to put just a few over those lines, so that way I was able to still see the lines. I don't know what in the world is wrong with me. Cardi B had me in the zone, y'all. But I put a bunch of these leaves, and I put some gold foil glitter. Now these leaves, you know, you traditionally see most people using the shiny glittery leaves, but I found these also on Amazon. It wasn't too bad of a price. I'm gonna make sure everything is in the description box so y'all could get to it, but I wanted to just do a mixture of the two. So learning from past mistakes, what I did was I applied a very thin layer of clear gel, and I adhered my leaves to it so that way it had something to hold on to, and when I cured it, those leaves weren't gonna move around when I got ready to start encapsulating. Y'all have seen me make that mistake in the past. I learned from my mistake, and what I did was I was able to cure those in there, and none of them moved, y'all. None of them moved. So now it's time to encapsulate these things. Y'all see how I'm like pillowing that clear back to the cuticle? That's basically what I did every time I did one of these nails. I just basically pillow it back to the cuticle so I can get it as flush as possible. I'm gonna take that same bead down as far as I feel like I can, not to remove some of that thickness. Then I'm gonna go just a little bit ways atop of that and add more to build that apex, and I'm just gonna keep encapsulating it all the way down. So I use like a drag and push kind of method when I do this, but y'all will see I'll have to change that up a bit when I get ready to encapsulate these leaves. But you're basically going to do the same thing as you did with the colored gel. Make sure those side walls are good, get everything nice and straight, get an even flow of that product all the way across. Keep checking to see that there is no bumps and ridges in there, and that's a wonder about gel. Like, you can float that product to where you need it to go, you can add where you need to add, and you see how I'm just floating there just to make that smooth transition between the cuticle, the apex, and the free edge, honey. Time to speed this thing up. So what I did, y'all, this time, I went ahead and put like a good enough glob, almost like I was doing a slip layer again, to kind of fill in those spaces, because these leaves weren't laying all the way flush. Some of them were, some of them weren't. So I just put in a pretty thick layer, and I went ahead and I cured that for 60 seconds. Then on top of that, I went in with a thin slip layer and I started encapsulating like I normally would, pillowing it to the cuticle, building up that apex, and taking it all the way down to the free edge. And to be honest with you, I did not get a thick free edge on these two middle fingers because I was mindful enough to thin that product out as I got down to the free edge. And y'all see, I kind of hid, well, I ain't kind of hid, I did hide all of that beautiful color blocking that I did. So I'm gonna do another video for you guys, color blocking, because Christmas is getting ready to come up. Christmas is my favorite holiday, and I'm about to saturate y'all with some of these beautiful Christmas nails that's been floating around in my mind. I'm sorry, not sorry, but These videos are coming to y'all pretty soon, and y'all probably gonna be tired of me, but it's okay. I still love y'all, but I'm gonna do that to both of these nails. I'm gonna regularly encapsulate that pointer finger, and then it's gonna be time to start filing, shaping, and buffing this thing up. Now I saturate this thing with alcohol, get it all nice and clean, because I do not want any of that tacky layer getting into my file when I start filing. So I was having a little bit of difficulties here because my dust collector, it sits pretty high up. My camera was super close, so y'all gonna see me flip this thing up in a minute and change the view for you guys. But what I do is I get to that free edge and those side walls first, and then I file in a downward motion towards the tip to kind of make that smooth transition between the cuticle and the free edge. After doing that, I go in with my 5-in-1 bit and I work that cuticle area, getting it nice and flush, so that way there is no lifting on Camille, because Camille sometimes keeps a set for about a month because I'm working on myself and my daughters and doing things. That's what y'all don't see in between these videos. So Camille don't want to come back with any lifting, which she never does. But you know, this is all in practice, you guys. I have fun doing nails, so I practice. So when I get ready to start working on actual people, they're not having any lifting issues and stuff like that. So when you're filing, be sure in between to dust off the nail, so that way you can see the areas that may need some additional work. But we're gonna get Camille all nice and filed up, get this cuticle all nice and worked flush, and then I will be back with my bling work. Now this is the second time that it happened to me. I sat here and did all this intricate bling work and wasn't recording a thing. Like, I don't know what's going on, y'all, but this phone's starting to get on my nerves. But what I did was I applied my gem gel, a very thin layer. You see, like, I'm almost dry brushing this thing onto this nail. Then I went in with my no wipe top coat, left it wet, and I started adhering my gems to it. I just did pretty much a straight line down the middle of that nail with some of my crystals that I got from Wish and some caviar beads, some gold caviar beads, to kind of accent those gold flakes that's in there. And then I'm gonna top coat all of these nails, and we're gonna come back with some beautiful pictures. Like right now, this thing is just looking so pretty. And again, I'm always wishing I could wear these nails, but the army don't play that, y'all, and sometimes it just breaks my heart because I want to have pretty nails too. And I thought that this set came out so cute, minus me hiding all of my line work that I did there, but it's okay. I still think it looks very beautiful. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments, because y'all know I love talking to y'all in them comments. I love interacting, but just keep watching and we will get back to some beautiful footage in a minute. Now these are the days when I kind of wish that I had gotten the posable Ready Guana hand, but it's okay because I feel like if I did get the posable hand, I probably would have broke that daggone, I think it's aperture that they put in there. Whatever it is, I probably would have broke it. Because y'all seen how I was holding this finger when I was filing them cuticles. Like, I'd be so rough, y'all. I feel like I'm rough because it's a fake hand and she can't feel anything. Because when I did my mom and my sister's hands, you know, I was so gentle and they kept talking about how gentle I was, and I was like, I know Camille don't be saying the same thing, but I feel like if I did get the posable hand, I probably would have broken it, but it would have still allowed me to move those fingers out of the way while I'm working on one particular finger. So I may buy another one, but I'm not too sure just as yet. For now, Camille is just gonna be my only little boo right now, and she's gonna keep getting her nails done as often as I can possibly do it. But yeah, that's what I feel like sometimes, and I just hope I don't break or mess up anything in this hand, because I do be kind of rough on Camille. I'm sorry, Camille. I love you, boo. I do want to share with y'all one thing that I learned about top coating. So thin layers always works best. Thin layers keeps you from losing that shape on your sidewalls. It keeps you from having to wipe off the sidewalls. So thin, go thin and you'll be fine. If you need to add more in any area, go thin on that as well, because it keeps me at least from losing my shape on my sidewalls. But at this point, I am pretty much done. I am loving that marble nail. So in love with this set. The colors were just so enchanting. It's just so beautiful, adding those notes of green in there with the leaves. This is basically how I feel like it will be best for me to encapsulate things in the future. But just working that thin layer and building it up with the clear. If you're into gels like me, that's what works for me. You may have a different way. Let me know your way in the comments. And cuties, thank you so much for watching, supporting, subscribing, all of my new subscribers lately. Thank you guys so much. Be sure to follow me on all of my social media. And as always, guys, y'all know it, I'ma definitely talk to y'all in my next one. Bye.